Hi everybody, Jared Petty here for IGN, joined by Jose Go Taro.
That's right.
Yeah, we're talking Pokemon Go, and probably you are too, because Pokemon Go is everywhere. Everywhere I turn my head, people are catching monsters at the zoo, on the street corner, in kayaks. It's happening everywhere. Why is Pokemon Go such a big deal? We're going to talk about that in a second, but first, just in case you missed it, Jose, let us know what Pokemon Go actually is.
Yeah, so I mean, Pokemon Go is Pokemon, which is a beloved mega franchise, and it's basically on your smartphone. It's an augmented reality game, and it's one that you use your camera and your GPS to basically find Pokemon hiding in the real world, which really, kind of marries well with the original concept of what Pokemon is, right? Just a world inhabited by these creatures. So you collect them, you battle them, you're going to trade them one day, which is also really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what's making this such a big deal. First, you mentioned this is played out on your phone. How does the phone help make this such a cultural phenomenon?
Oh man, well, I mean, it's because the phone is always with you. I mean, everyone has a smartphone on them at all times. And I want to say everyone because the majority of the people I know, for example, carry it around everywhere. And so one of the, attractive parts of smartphone gaming is just the idea that the device is with you. It's easy to fire up a game, get started. But what makes this experience incredibly unique is the fact that it is so social, that a group of you can go out on a walk to play Pokemon Go and you will spot these creatures together. You're all aware of where they are, and when one person spots them, everyone in the group has a chance to kind of grab it, which is an awesome thing.
All right, and since this game is built for the phone from the bottom up, you're sitting there using that camera all together, grabbing the pictures, you use the pedometer, you're using your mapping features, everything is built just perfectly to utilize that hardware and make that social experience work. And since you have the photos, they're all shareable and everybody, it's just wonderful that way.
Yeah.
What about Pokemon themselves? What does the IP have to do with
So
this?
we're talking about an IP that when it came out in 1998 in North America, it exploded. We're talking about unlike anything that had been seen. And we knew that in Japan it was a big deal.
Right.
But in America it became an RPG series. It quickly an anime, followed right after by a trading card game.
Right.
And it felt like that first generation especially hit so well. It felt like everywhere you turned in that late 90s era, you can find out. Well, now let's look at 2016. 90s nostalgia is in, number one.
Exactly.
Second, these people who used to play Pokemon when they were kids are now 20-somethings who are like, hey, I haven't connected with this IP in a while. I have a smartphone. I want to try this game if it's simple, and it is. It's mechanically a simple game of collecting.
It's easy to learn. They have disposable income. They're just the right age for nostalgia. They're all carrying phones, and even if they haven't touched a video game in a decade, they know this and they can instantly understand it.
So then the social element of this game is doing something that is really, really smart. I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, it's getting you out of your house, exploring your neighborhood or exploring places and seeing things that you didn't realize were always there. That's something that's been a revelation for me. But then secondly, the whole interaction, you're meeting people constantly who either want to learn more about the game, want to know what Pokemon are nearby, or want to know what team you're on.
Yeah, I was at the zoo yesterday, and there were crowds of strangers just gathering to take pictures of Pokemon in cages with wolverines or rhinoceroses, and they were all standing around talking about it, and oh, look, over there, and they all go running. It was fantastic. I've never experienced anything quite like that.
Well, it's so fun to go to the Embarcadero or a local tourist place and see just a group of people all talking about Pokemon publicly, trading information, trying to find out what's the best way to level. Hey, did you catch that Dratini that just showed up? And then seeing everyone react as they do.
And that's the third big part there is that augmented reality aspect. The fact that Pokemon is right there and everybody can see him. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very cool part of what Pokemon has always been, right? The world is inhabited by these sort of creatures, these pocket monsters that you collect. But the idea that they're hiding and you don't quite see them and you're able to hold up a special camera to see them is a very smart application because you're basically tapping into that, hey, they're everywhere, you can catch them, you can battle with them, and it becomes this very, very social experience.
And that's it. They're not just they're not just there for you.
Yeah.
Or if we were both here with our phones, we see the same one.
Yep.
It's social. We take that, then the social aspects of sharing it, and then of course battling. There's the competitive end.
Oh man, that's the best part. I mean, honestly, it's something that I didn't expect to because the battles are very simple. It's a lot of tapping or tap and hold or swipe, which compared to the RPGs is different. However, the idea that you're one of 3 teams and you are trying to dominate these gyms, and even seeing your Pokemon hovering above a gym, just to me says, I've done it. This is blue team's territory. By the way, Team Mystic, the only team you should be on right now, you know it, I know it, is something that it just feels really good. And when you see a gym, behind my house, there's a gym that every once in a while it goes down. I'm immediately out there trying to reclaim it for Team Mystic.
I also love how flexible this game is. It's a game that appeals to you. If you just want to play by yourself, you can.
Yeah.
If you just want to cooperate with friends and not ever compete, you can. If you just love collection, you can do it. If you want to be a gym leader and you want to compete, there's so much room for that.
Yeah.
You can engage it any way you want and have a good time with it. And that's a lot like the original Pokemon RPGs as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and it's only going to grow from here, which is the most fascinating part of it. Hopefully they're able to kind of figure out what the future is going to hold for this thing.
So that's why Pokemon Go is such a big deal. We hope you're playing. If you're not, give it a shot. I'm Jared Petty. Once again, Jose Gotero. And for everything Pokemon, we hope to stay with your friends here at IGN.